Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're digging into an interview with Luis Fernández. He's the editor of SIG Magazine, which is, well, it's a really key voice in cybersecurity info.
Mm-hmm. A leading voice.
And our mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the most important insights for you, like what are the cybersecurity experts really zeroing in on right now?
Exactly. Where's their focus? Especially, after some recent events that definitely pushed cybersecurity into the spotlight.
Right. The source material mentions things like, I think they called it a near cyber blackout, and also a Microsoft update issue.
Yeah, stuff like that. Events that maybe weren't always, strictly speaking, cyber attacks, but they absolutely got people talking.
Yeah, talking about how fragile things are. Potentially.
For sure. And it's interesting, the language that came up around some of those energy capacity discussions, the source actually mentions terms like sabotage and cyberattacks.
Sort of mixing sabotage and cyber attack.
Yeah, it kind of tells you something, doesn't it? About the level of concern, maybe the uncertainty people felt then.
Absolutely. And I think the main thing to pull from those incidents, like the source highlights, is they acted as a real catalyst.
A moment for reflection. Public and professional.
Mm-hmm. They really underline that, systems are still vulnerable. They need a much closer look.
Which just reinforces that critical need for resilience, and specifically cyber resilience.
That ability to recover, right? Not just block everything, but know how to bounce back when things, inevitably go wrong.
And what's really interesting is where that reflection leads. It pushes the focus towards, protecting the really vital stuff.
Critical infrastructure, strategic companies.
Exactly. And it also feeds into that bigger strategic push, especially in Europe, towards technological sovereignty.
Right. And then looking inward at the cybersecurity industry itself, its health, particularly for, say, Spanish companies and startups.
Definitely. Lots to unpack there.
So, that's what we're doing, trying to make sense of these insights for you, cut through some of the noise.
Those recent incidents, they're just such a vivid reminder, aren't they? They kind of exposed vulnerabilities we might have thought were, better managed.
Like a system-wide wake-up call.
Pretty much stressing that resilience, that ability to get back on your feet quickly after something bad happens, whether it's a glitch or a full-blown attack stopping operations. It's not something you just set up once.
No, it needs constant work, attention, preparation, practice. Even.
Absolutely.
And this vulnerability you mentioned, the one highlighted by those events, it points directly to a key focus area, protecting essential services and the companies that run them.
Mm-hmm. The source actually details an upcoming panel. The title's quite specific.
Ciberseguridad en las empresas estratégicas españolas. Buen gobierno y garantía para los mercados.
Okay, let's translate that roughly. Cybersecurity in Spanish strategic companies, good governance, and guarantee for markets. Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty close. And what's really telling is the list of companies involved that the source mentions. Big names. Airbus, Renfe, Ineco, Repsol.
Wow, okay. So aerospace, rail transport, engineering, energy. That's a serious range.
It is. And the people participating are just as varied. You've got intelligence specialists, cyber intelligence folks, CSOs.
Quick clarification, CISO is Chief Information Security Officer, right? The top security person.
Correct, thanks. And also broader integral security managers. That mix is important because protecting these critical entities, it's not just one technical problem. It's got many facets.
Makes sense. And this focus, it's not just happening randomly, is it? It's pushed by bigger things like European regulations. The source mentions NIS2 implementation.
Right, NIS2. That's the updated Network and Information Security Directive. Big push in the EU to raise the bar on cybersecurity for essential sectors. It's a major driver for companies to improve their security posture.
Got it. So the idea is by sharing how these big strategic players handle things, others can learn. Kind of create blueprints to help everyone else speed up.
That seems to be the goal. And if you zoom out a bit, this focus on securing strategic assets, it ties into a wider global trend.
Geopolitics changing things.
Yeah, countries are rethinking their capabilities, their dependencies. And in tech, that's really fueling this push for technological sovereignty.
Controlling your own digital future. Less reliance on others for critical tech. Aiming for, zero dependence in Europe.
Precisely. And this links up strongly with cyberdefense, and what the source calls the revalorization of dual-use technologies.
Dual use. Things that can be used for civilian and military stuff?
Exactly, like advanced encryption, secure comms, maybe some drone tech. The point the source makes is that old-school warfare domains, they used to be separate, but now they completely rely on modern IT and telecom for, well, everything, command, control, intel.
Huh. So cybersecurity isn't just about protecting a company network anymore. It's getting tied right into national security, defense.
That's it. Because those traditional domains are so tech-heavy now, cyber defense has had to expand hugely, and cybersecurity is like a bedrock piece of it.
Interesting.
The source mentions events like the Fender Fair in Madrid as showing how much closer the classic cybersecurity world and the cyber defense world are now. There's a real convergence happening.
So this convergence, plus the push for European capabilities, that must be shaking up the industry too. The source seems to expect a lot of economic activity, mergers, acquisitions, building bigger European cyber companies.
It does anticipate that, yeah. Aiming for players that can compete globally. However, and this is a really crucial point the source makes.
Oh, it sounds like a but.
A bit of a tirón de orejas, as they put it, like a gentle warning or nudge.
Okay.
Amid all this focus on large, defense-oriented entities, we absolutely cannot forget the domestic industry, especially the startups.
Ah, right, the ecosystem.
Every country, Spain included, needs to actively support, help, and maybe most importantly, just clear the obstacles for startups that have great, innovative ideas that fit with European needs.
That point really stood out for me too. The challenges these new companies face sound pretty intense. Bureaucracy gets called out specifically. A mal de Europa, a European ill.
Yes, hindering agility, slowing down support, and there's a really sharp point made about the kind of support startups need early on.
What kind is that?
Often it's grants, non-repayable money to just get going. But what they sometimes get first are loans.
Which sounds helpful, but...
But the source uses a strong word, suggests these loans can end up hypothecating them, basically mortgaging their future before they've even got steady income. It's a major hurdle for growth.
Wow. That really highlights how important it is to nurture the whole system, doesn't it? It's not just about training people. It's about creating an environment where innovation can actually happen, generated from inside the industry.
Absolutely. And the source, SIG Magazine, they're actively trying to address this. They've launched a new section called Pido la Palabra.
I ask for the floor.
Yeah. And it's specifically for giving a direct voice to these small emerging companies right at the start.
So they can talk about their day-to-day problems, what support they think they should be getting, what's blocking them, and, the cool stuff they're building.
Exactly. It's an effort to shine a light on their reality, their needs, hoping to get them the right kind of attention and support.
So the big picture here seems pretty clear then. Building strong cybersecurity, real resilience for society, for the state.
Yeah.
It's not just about the tech or the defense systems.
No, it fundamentally needs a healthy, robust domestic industry. An ecosystem that actually empowers those agile, innovative startups.
Right. So looking back at this deep dive, we saw how recent events acted as a sort of wake-up call, showed system fragility, hammered home the need for resilience, cyber resilience.
And how that focused attention on protecting critical infrastructure, strategic companies. We saw the specific panel examples driven by things like NIS2.
Then we connected that to the bigger strategic goal, European tech sovereignty, zero dependence, and how cyber is mixing more with cyber defense, dual-use tech.
And finally, we really dug into the importance of that industry ecosystem. The startups, the hurdles they face, bureaucracy, getting the right kind of early money, like grants, not just loans.
And how publications like SIG are trying to give them a platform.
It all points to the same place, true cyber resilience. It's built with technology, yes, but also by nurturing a vibrant, supported domestic ecosystem that can innovate quickly.
So here's a final thought drawing on all this. Given the urgency that those recent events highlighted, and knowing the struggles startups face with things like bureaucracy, what might be the single most effective thing we could actually do right now to dramatically speed up support for those agile, innovative companies? And by doing that, really boost our collective cyber resilience.
That's definitely something we're thinking about. We hope this deep dive has given you plenty to consider.
Thanks for joining us.